Reed Johnson here, and we're going to be making the watch face for the smartwatch. You can see the smartwatch here. The watch face is the face that has the display for the smartwatch. Here in Fusion 360, I'm going to start the watch face by creating another sketch. So I'm going to go back up here to my sketch menu. I drop this menu down. Look at my circle options. I want the center diameter circle. I select this. Now it asks me for a work plane to model on. I might need to zoom in or zoom out to easily select this work plane. Select this vertical work plane in the center of our smartwatch. Fusion 360 sends me to that work plane, so I'm looking directly at it, and I can start a circle. I want to click right in the center of that circle one time, then pull my mouse away, start to create this circle. I want a precise dimension, so the diameter I want this to be would be 3.25, 3¼ inches. If I hit enter on my keyboard now to lock this in, it will be locked at that dimension. Now I can click a second time with my mouse off to the side here, and that will set that circle. Now I need to start and stop the ends of this watch face profile, and I will do that with a line. So I'm going to go back up to my sketch menu here, drop this down, and select the line command. I'm going to start the line command right back in the center here. As I hover over that, I notice it does a small blue circle to let me know I'm right at the center of my circle. I click once and pull it out. Just like the circle, you notice the dimension, the farther I pull this, the larger the dimension gets. I know the dimension is half of the diameter. You can even see it here visually. It'll snap to the circle. It's 1.625 inches. So I can type that in or just hit enter to lock that in. Now I know my line goes from the center of the circle to the outside of the circle. It's a radius now, 1.625 inches. Now I want to be precise in where this line ends. You can see as I move my mouse now, I've got a degrees from center that this is located. I want this at a 45, so I can simply type in 45 on my keyboard and hit enter to lock that in. Now if I move my mouse, it's not going to go anywhere unless I go to another quadrant. The 45 degrees will always be 45 degrees in different quadrants. So I click now a second time, again over to the side. I'll click one time here. That's going to lock in this line. Now you notice I've got several sketch dimensions. Those are really helpful. They constrain the lines. We're not getting into constraints so much today. They're over here to the side. You notice I can constrain in different ways my sketch. But for today, I'm going to go ahead and hit escape and delete a couple of these. They'll be unconstrained lengthwise, but it will help visually see what I'm doing better. Now I'm going to come back and add another line. So I go sketch, line. I'll start again from the center point right here. I'll click one time, move it out. I know that's 1.625. I can hit enter. That locks in the length. And now the degrees. I could do a 45 and then move it over here, or I could simply type in 135. And now I can click over here a second time. That's going to lock in that line. Again, I can hit escape on my keyboard to get back to my selection arrow. I can select this dimension. I can delete it just for clarity in this video, and I'll delete the degrees. So now I've got it, this V shape. What I'm hoping to get is just that profile of the watch face. This is all I want to have left. So now I need to come back and trim out the lines I do not need. So again, under my sketch menu, if I pull this down, I notice I have what's a trimming tool. I can start to trim things away I don't need. Before I do that though, I might want to add in a second line right here to capture the back of that watch face. I'm going to go back to my sketch, drop this down, do a circle, another center diameter circle, click in the center, pull this up. This is the back side of that watch face. I know it's 3 inches. I can click a second time there, and now I've got it. I'm going to zoom in. I'm using my scroll wheel on my mouse. I can roll it forward or back depending on my settings from the original video. And I'm going to just trace with my mouse the shape I want. I want the left side, the back of the watch face, the right side, and the top. And I don't need the rest of this. So I need to come back, and now I can trim this out, sketch, trim. I do not need this part of the line, as I notice if I'm hovering over with my trim tool selected, lines turn red. And when they're red, if I click, they're going to delete and be gone. So I need to be careful about what turns red. So first I'll start with this right line here. It's going to turn red. Click, and it's deleted. Now I have this corner that I wanted. Then I go to my left side here, hover over, it's going to turn red. Click, and now that's gone. The last thing I need is this line that goes around the outside. I can trim that away as well. So I'll click and trim, and now I've got the shape I need. And I'm actually good here. If I want to take another step further, I could even trim away this line here and these lines on the outside as well. Those are not necessary, but I can as well. What I really need is this shape here. The top, the sides, the bottom, the right side. As long as I've got that, I'm okay. And now I can go ahead and click Stop Sketch. And that's going to take me back to my watch. You can see if I zoom in, again using my scroll wheel on the mouse, I hold Shift and press the scroll wheel down to orbit a bit and zoom in. I've got this shape now. I can select it. There it is. That's what I want for my watch face. I click away over here to unselect everything, and now I can start the next command, which is the press and pull. So again, I go under Modify, I click once for the drop down here, I find the press and pull. I can press and pull any of the active sketches here. As I hover over my sketch, you'll notice that the complete watch face profile highlights. So I select that. It turns blue to let me know it's selected. I want to change the direction. The default is one side, so if I pull this arrow out, it just pulls it out in one direction. Again, working about the center point, I want to do symmetric, so it pulls in both directions. And now I want to type in a precise distance, so I'm going to type in 0.9 inches, just slightly smaller than the watch band itself. And the next thing I want to double check here is under the operation, it's set to join. If I leave this alone, it's going to attach this watch face with the watch band. But I actually want them to be separate bodies so that I can apply material separately. So I'm going to drop this down. I click on this where it says join, and I change this to new body. You can see the different options I have to cut or intersect or component. I want a new body. That's going to make it a new and completely separate body from the watch band, which I want. So I'm going to go ahead here and click OK. And there you have it. I've got the watch face sitting on top of the watch band. Now, to wrap up the basic geometry of this watch face, I would like to round all four corners. They have a nice round corner. To do that, I come back to my Modify menu, pull this down, and the next command I want to use is called Fillet. I grab the Fillet command, and the first thing it asks me for as an input are the edges. So I'm going to start and grab every edge. So I'm going to start on the bottom left. I'm going to zoom in here so you guys can see it a little better. I click once on this little line that connects the front corner to the back corner. It's a little short line here. Click that once. And I can come back to this back corner here and click again. Now I've got two edges selected. Now I can orbit by pressing Shift on my keyboard, pressing the mouse middle wheel down to orbit. Or a maybe quicker way to do that is to come up to the view cube up here on the right, and I can click an opposite corner here, the upper left corner. Spins the entire view around, so now I can see the back side. And I want to click these two corners as well. So this guy, and then here in the back, the line that connects the corners. So now I've got all 4 corners of the watch selected. I can come back to my view cube. If I hover over that view cube, there's a little house icon. I click that, it takes me back home so I can view the entire watch face. 1, 2, 3, 4 edges selected. And now I can type in my radius. I know I want this to be 1/4 inch, so I type in 0.25, and you'll notice it rounds off all 4 of those corners. Then I can click OK. Make sure I'm back in my home view. And it's a good time to save the version because now I've got my watch face and watch band. I'll click save. It's going to make a new version. I say OK, and I'll be ready for the next step.